This is Jack Lyon from the Editorium, editorium.com, and I'm here at the gracious invitation of Dr. John Pollard to demonstrate the use of my Microsoft Word add-in BookMaker, which is designed to take a Microsoft Word document, such as that novel you're working on, and paginate that as a book. So I'd like to show you how that's done. John, are we ready to try that?
I am ready and willing.
Okay, thank you. So I have open an unformatted manuscript called The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle. And I'm going to show you what it takes to do this. First of all, let's open Microsoft Word's styles pane, and we do that by clicking this tiny little arrow up on the ribbon next to all of the styles, and that opens the style pane on the right of my screen, at least. Now we're going to start by, now I'm assuming that you already know how to use styles in Microsoft Word. If not, that's a topic for another day. But right now, we're going to style the title of the book with a style called appropriately book title. And that's what it looks like when we do that. Now we'll do book author, if we can find that. There it is. And then book publisher, which is going to be the Editorium.
Now, just in anybody, what Jack is doing is he's just putting the cursor in the text anywhere, and then he's clicking the style on the right, and the words doing the rest.
Yes, that's right. I have already set up these styles, and they reside in a template that comes with the BookMaker program. And so this is already set up for your use. You really don't have to create styles or format styles. All you have to do is apply them to the text that you want to paginate. Okay, so now we're going to put here's a preface, and we're going to say that is the same kind of heading as a chapter title. So we'll style it as a chapter title. But you notice we're not numbering that chapter title. If we were, we'd put a number there, but let me show you here. Okay, here is how Robin Hood came to be an outlaw, which is the next, actually the first chapter of the book. We'll style it as chapter title, and so on. We can go through the book. The text is already there. And we just need to find the beginning of each chapter and style each one as chapter title. And you can see that it's starting to look like a book already.
I have a question. Can you do any of this from the outline menu?
No. Well, yes, you can work in the outline menu, but you will still need the styles pane to apply the style. But yeah, you could. Okay, now here is a poem, and we'll need to style that as a poem. So what we're doing here is we are telling BookMaker what kind of text is in this document. Is it a heading? Is it a poem? What is it? Here's the next chapter. And maybe we've done enough now so that you can see what's going on. We don't need to do the whole book. Oh, come on, Microsoft Word. Be friendly. Okay. So here it is. Now it looks pretty good, but it doesn't look like a book. It's on 8.5 by 11 paper, It does not have running heads. It does not have page numbers, anything like that. Table of contents right now, well, okay, but we are at the point where we can go up here to the bookmaker menu and say, make my book. And the program says, please be patient. Making your book may take several minutes. So let's see what happens. We're not doing a whole book here, so it may not take too long. Here we tell the program what page layout to use. And we're going to use the common trim size of 6 inches wide by 9 inches high. We're telling it that we want folios or page numbers to be centered. And we're going to start each chapter on a new page. If we wanted, we could do on a recto page or right-hand page. We're going to get fancy with drop caps. We're going to include the chapter title in the running head on both the left and right page. And we're going to put the running heads on the outside margin of the book. And we're going to get fancy with a nice ruler to make them pretty. We're also going to use widow control and ragged bottoms, and we're going to include a table of contents. You may not understand what that means, but that's okay. So let's click OK and see what happens. And it says, Bookmaker says it's not responding. That's really not true. It's just not responding to us. It's still doing its thing. And it's a weird thing. Sometimes it will actually tell you exactly what it's doing. Sometimes it doesn't. And I have not been able to figure out why that is. Chalk it up to Microsoft. But you can now see that these pages are starting to come together.
So go to the first page.
Okay, I can do that as soon as it's finished.
Oh, okay. So you're not doing that right
No,
now.
we'll need to wait just a few minutes until it's all done. It says your book is finished. Would you like to see your book in print preview? Yes, we would. Thank you. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it a little better on the screen. So here we have the half title page. And if you look in any professionally produced book, you'll find that the very first page is the half title page. And it usually gives the title of the book. It's followed by a blank page, then the title page, which includes the title, the author, and the publisher. We could put copyright information here if we wanted to. You'll see that Bookmaker has created a contents page for us. We've only done 4 chapters. Here's our preface from the author to the reader. There's that drop capital letter for fanciness. You'll see down here we have a page number and another running head. Here's another chapter title. And I made a mistake. I should have inserted the chapter numbers, and we should probably go back and do that. But actually, we could still do it. In fact, let's do that. I will close this. Actually, let me show you. Well, that's all right.
While we're talking, that's really cool. I mean, it's just unbelievable to me. And I like the new chapter to start on the odd page. That must be it.
We can do that. We can absolutely do that. Yeah. So you want to start over?
No, just keep going. Let's
okay. Okay. Yeah. So let me show you then. Well, okay. Let me show you. We'll add chapter numbers here. We're not going to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You need chapter numbers.
Yes. So we don't want a number on the preface because it's not actually a chapter. But here, this, How Robin Hood Became an Outlaw, is a chapter. And so we're going to, no, we're not. We're going to go back to our original document. Sorry about that. But we need to do that anyway because you want pages to start on the right. Okay, so here we are back at the beginning where we were. You can see that there's a place there for a chapter number. Here's our chapter title. Here is a chapter number. It's already there, and I should have left it there. How Robin Hood came to be an outlaw. And if you look over here on the styles pane, you can see that right there is styled as a chapter number. That paragraph is styled. And by the way, the numbering happens automatically. You don't have to do it. So there's number 2 and so on. Number 3 will be next and so on. You don't have to worry about the numbers. Okay, let's do this again. While we're here, let me show you BookMaker comes with 3 different templates that change the look of the book. It comes with big number, ruled title, and classic. And right now we're on classic, but let me show you what big number looks like. Right now it looks a little funny because we haven't paginated yet. There's that, number 2, and so on. Here's what the ruled title looks like. Very nice. And by the way, that goes really nicely with the ruled running heads. You can do other things too. You can say, I really like my text to have serifs, and so let's do this book in Palatino. And right now it only gives you 3 choices, mainly because these are good fonts for working in for book work, but also because they come with Microsoft Word. So let's say now if we're doing the text as serif, let's do the heading sans serif. So we get some contrast. So we'll do that as Calibri, and you watch, it'll do. There it is. And you'll notice that the chapter number and the chapter title both changed there. Actually, let's do a different text serif. Let's do that as Cambria, just for fun. And it's a little hard to tell, but when you do that, it changes the formatting of every style in the book. You can also say, I want my headings to be bold. Takes it a second, but it'll do it. There it is. You can put the headings on the left if you want, which in this case, I don't think it looks very good, but you can. So we're going to, anyway, there are lots of things you can do. You can increase the point size, and if you do that, it will increase the size of the type on every element of the book. So you don't have to go through and change these manually. The program will do it for you. And so I tried to add it up. I think there are close to 100 different formulations that you could use to make a book. Okay, so we've done that. Let's say make my book. And again, here we go. It says may take several minutes. Uh-oh, this time I think, oh, we may be doing the whole book this time. Go ahead.
Did you click the left start on the odd page? Was that here or somewhere else?
Oh, no, you know what? You're right. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some editing to do unless we start over.
Yeah, let's keep going and just see what happens.
Okay.
I'm just so impressed with this software. It's unbelievable.
Well, thank you. Well, you know, the problem that we have, and it's, we started out in Microsoft Word, and I think even in WordPerfect in the early days, we started out with what you see is what you get. And everybody thought that was a wonderful thing, because you could say, I want to take this heading and I want to make it bold and I want to make it Palatino. But then you have to go do that throughout the book. And if you have to do the same thing if you're in InDesign. So what that has done to us is, yes, we get to do that, but it also means we have to do that. And it's a lot of work to set up pages in a book, and especially in Microsoft Word, because Word will fight you every step of the way if you try to do this manually. But the key to this whole thing is just using the styles that have been set up. And when you do that, BookMaker looks for those styles and knows what to do with them. So as long as you style your book correctly, you're going to get a good looking book out of it. And I've got to say, Microsoft Word has come a long way as far as typography. It used to be you really had to jump through some hoops to get good looking type, but nowadays it does a pretty good job of hyphenation and justification.
Yeah, my goal would be to replace InDesign.
Yes,
I think this can do it, up to
right.
unless you're at the top 10% of something you're trying to achieve.
Well, InDesign is wonderful if you're doing a very design heavy book or a magazine, something with lots of pictures. But if you're laying out a book that's mostly text, why not automate the whole process?
Why is this taking longer than the first time?
Because I accidentally went back to my original rather than the one that you and I were playing with. But it'll be finished here very soon. And you'll notice this time around, it's actually telling us what it's doing. So who knows? Microsoft Word is a very strange program.
It is wild, isn't it?
Yeah. What it's doing right now is centering poetry on the longest line. And that's a long-standing typographical convention. You can't do that in design. But BookMaker will do it. I mean, you can, but you have to do it manually. So, but BookMaker will do it for you automatically, which is really nice. Okay, so here we are. And it's looking good. There's our chapter number, running heads, page numbers. Let's find some nice poetry here, so you can see what that looks like. Come on up, come on up. There's some. Some nice poetry, properly. Yeah, it looks really nice, I think.
Crazy.
Footnotes, everything works.